promised you some coast. Check this out. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Vegan Runner. Today, join me on a 22 mile long run. I'm training for a 100k ultra race to the stones in a couple of months' time. I'd bring you along for the journey. So we're heading out of my home here in North Devon, 10 miles out to the coast, Bucks Mills, which I think I've been to before because we've walked several stretches of the coastline here already, and then over to Peppercombe, which I definitely have been to before, and then we'll head inland again to turn around and come home. But it's a loop, so I planned this one out on Strava yesterday evening. I'll pop up on the screen now the process as we're sort of doing that, but create a route, and it's pretty good. You can kind of play around with where you're going and get the mileage and the distance about right. But this is a new trail for me. Looking forward to seeing some new things and taking you along for the ride. Also trying out the Harrier Kinder 10-litre race pack. After my last 20 mile long run, I realised I definitely needed something with a bit more capacity than my Solomon Agile 2 running vest. It was a gloriously hot day, like it was, or like it is today, for that one too. And the Agile 2 only has room for 2 flasks really, so by about 15 miles, kind of running low in water and paying the price. So bought myself this Harrier vest. It's a 10-litre pack. It's got a 2-litre bladder in the back, as well as 2 flasks. I tried it out earlier in the week just to get the fit right and just make sure everything was working. But this is its first proper outing so far. Pretty impressed in lots of ways. I'll get to them later on in the video. But there's also a few drawbacks which I've noticed already. So I know this is the new version of the vest, but the Harrier team, if you're watching, I know you're a small UK business, always good to support local businesses here in the UK. But a couple of improvements for you for the next version. But we'll get into them later in the video. But for now, just going to enjoy my warm-up. About half a mile in already. Had some decent Devon traffic on the roads. A beast of a hill coming up. So I'm going to shut up and get up it.
Well, miss, I guess I'll be on my way now. You just give me a...
So like most of the runs on this plan, we're running in zone 2 today, and for the first 3 to 4 miles of these really long run, I like to keep the heart rate nice and low. So just come up a pretty steep climb for the last mile or so. I think the last mile split 10.5 minutes. Second mile still warming up was 8.5, so it gives you an idea of the elevation in the last mile. But I just like to keep it nice and easy, keep the legs turning over nicely, warm them up properly. Got a long way ahead, don't really need to worry about pace, just need to worry about keeping that heart rate in that zone 2, and I don't mind dipping into zone 1 either. if need be. Something I'm working hard on is to get used to walking some hills so that heart rate doesn't skyrocket off zone 3. So in terms of nutrition today, probably going with a little bit more than I need, but it's always good to have some extras as a bit of a backup in case things take a little bit longer than you think, especially on a new course as well. So in the bladder, just water. I didn't fill it all the way, so I think there's about 1.5 litres in there. And then another flask full of water here. And then in this one, I've got something called Mountain Fuel Tropical Flavour, which is a sort of carbohydrate mix. It comes in like a sachet powder-like thing and dissolves into the water. It just keeps the energy levels topped up. I think there might be electrolytes in there as well. Yeah, I've used these before. I get the X Miles subscription box. They do a vegan version, which is really cool. And they throw in all kinds of products in there, from sort of electrolyte powders, carbohydrate, energy gels, food. So I've used these before. I know that they shouldn't have any digestive issues. But this is the time, isn't it, when you're training, to try out these things and make sure they're okay. So that's in this flask. I've also got a gel by Talk, which is a raspberry ripple flavour. Rachel used that in her sub 2 hour half marathon video. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. She got her sub 2 hour PB. So that's that one. And then I've got a Noom energy gel, energy bar. I think it's called Noom or Voom or something like that. I'll pop it up on the screen now. And I think that's it. So nutrition strategy, just keep sipping on the carbohydrate thing as and when needed. The gel or the bar, I'll probably have about 1/3 of the way through. And then again, towards the last third of the long run, I will have whichever's left. And then again, just keep sipping on water all the way through. It's a pretty hot day. Coming up to about 4 or 5 miles in. And I'm sweating already, so I think it's about 17, 18 degrees. I've run in worse places, that's for sure. I hope you can see it. There's a buzzard soaring up there. Hey, that's pretty cool. Always like seeing buzzards. You occasionally see them on my way to the Tarka Trail for normal training. Lovely, this is nice too, look at this. Nice shady tunnel of beech trees, really beautiful. I suspect it was or is a very ancient hedgerow. Some of the hedgerows in Devon go back a very long way. Awesome. Anyway, right. So for today's run, I'm wearing the Asics Gel Nimbus 24. This is their first really long run. just kind of putting them through their paces, seeing what they're like over 20 odd miles. So far so good. I've got about 60 miles in them so far, so this should take them up to the 70-80 mile range, and then I'll probably review them fully when we get to the 100 mile range. I'm also trying out another pair by Brooks, the Glycerin 20. I loved the Glycerin 19 last year. Got well over 500 miles on those, and they're also up to about the 50 mile mark now, I think. They've made loads of changes to the last model, so look out for my review on those coming soon. But yeah, it's kind of like a head and head between those two at the moment. Two daily trainers, both very well cushioned, and then I may even choose or end up wearing one of them for the Race to the Stones. Quite a tricky decision shoe wise. Lots of people going for road shoes, and I think they'll be right. As long as we've had plenty of dry weather, ground will be rock hard. So even though it's a trail race, midsummer, the ground's going to be hard enough for road shoes, hopefully. So these are my two daily trainers. It's difficult with an ultra, isn't it? Because you want something light, obviously something heavy over 60 odd miles is going to be a challenge. So you want something light, you want something well cushioned, supportive, when the form starts to drop, breathable for the summer. So we'll see. If you've got any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Pop them down in the comments below. But those are the two that I'm trying at the moment. Just a half marathon to go. And I'll make it back down to crack open the energy bar I've got. Here we go. Okay, so not Noom, that's something else. Vroom. Pocket rocket. Alright, not what I was expecting. Kind of looks like a mint cake. That's the consistency I want to. Feels like a lemon sort of lime flavour. I chose to tuck into that at the wrong time. Start climbing a big old hill. Which doesn't make eating easy. But as for this, it's alright. Tastes good. Feels like a big block of sugar, really. Which I suppose is the point. Tastes good. Dissolves nicely. Definitely needs water with it, which I'll have when I get up this hill. Whew. There we go. Where are we going? Right. Good thing is, with this vest, I've got plenty of pockets to pick up litter along the way, so that's alright. Gives me a chance to eat this. Alright, I promised I'll give you my first impressions of this Harrier Kinder 10 litre vest. So I'll start with the good, and the first thing I noticed when I put the vest on was that it barely moves. It's got a really secure fit. It took a little while to get it dialed in at home, but two straps hold it all together. It's a really nice fit, and not bouncing. Bounces less than my Solomon Agile 2, and for the length of this run and the last one I did, it hasn't moved. We're just coming up to a junction. I think we're going left. Yep. So that's been really good. Not very much wobble, of course. The more things move and wobble, the more rubbing and friction and chance of like chafing, kind of stuff like that. So that's good. Second really good thing, tons of pockets. So you can stash hundreds of gels in this thing. Pretty large compartment as well. That's divided in two. I've got the hydration bladder in a bit of it, and it's got this little kind of buckle to help you secure it in. And the side pockets here, so that's where I've stored the bar and the gel this morning. Really easy to get to. You've got these nice long sort of threads on the zip, so you can pull those and get them open and close them quite easily. Easy to get your hands into. So secure, decent amount of pockets, good accessibility. So both times I've worn it, it's felt pretty well balanced. So the first time, just the bladder in the back, that was good. And today, 2 flaps on the bladder, but it feels nicely weighted, quite evenly, again secure. Feels like a quality vest, feels nicely built. Went to another junction. Straight on. Straight on. Straight on and up. Okay, yeah, so quality, feels robust, feels like it's going to go the miles. Anything else on the positive side? I'll do a full review once I've done several long runs in it, but those are my top 3 good things, top 3 or 4 good things about the jacket so far. Downsides, again, this could just be me. I need to play around and explore what it can do, but you might notice you can see this flask, you can't see the other one. It slipped down into the vest pocket. Has got these elasticated loops. Thought I put it on properly, must have just slipped down. But what I've noticed is, unlike my Solomon Agile 2, they're really low down, these flasks, so probably have to bend, and it's a little bit awkward. So I'll probably end up buying the straws that you can get from the website, but that would have been good to know earlier, really, in the product description or something. And yeah, I don't know, never used them before, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So that's my gripe. Second gripe, there's a lot of elasticated loops and things on the front, which is great for securing the straw for the bladder and the straps and things like that. That's really good. On the back though, you've got these pole loops. I've never used poles for running before. That might be a positive if you use poles. Lots of different ways of storing them on this bag, but if you're not using them, they kind of flap about, so would have been good to have someone to tuck them. Again, I might have been missing something, but it wasn't really obvious, so either I missed it. If you don't tuck them in, they kind of slap against your elbows. So I've kind of ended up wrapping them around another bit of bungee cord just to keep them in place. We interrupt this initial bag review for the first glimpse of the sea. You can just about see it there. Looks awesome. Bit of a disaster, so I just stopped to put this flask back in its elasticated loop holder, and look what's happened. I don't know if you can just see it. Look, it's broken. Not a good look for this first use. I will get in touch with Harrier, I think, and just check that out. Oh, you know, I'm sure they'll honour it, but yeah, that's not cool. Oh well, at least I know it wasn't my fault. I did do it up properly, but the thing's just broken, so There you go. So yeah, all right, I was saying the build quality looks good. Hold fire on that one. And we'll also get to try out Harrier's customer service, so that's pretty good. Right, yeah, what am I doing? Right, the GoPro's running out of battery a bit, so I will stop filming so much now and show you a bit more of the sea and stuff, but we've got about 12 miles left. One more for the collection. I remember those, do you? Haven't seen one of those for years. Ring pop. Beautiful bit of woodland we're running through now. What I love about this kind of running, or what I really love about this part of my running journey, is that even after almost a half marathon, my legs are feeling nice and fresh. I just feel like, hey, cheers! Just feel like we could go forever. On and on, so good. Yeah, nice technical descent. I promised you some coast. Check this out. I told you what goes down must go up. That's what I love about trail running. Sometimes you just gotta stop and take it all in. You might just be able to see the Buzzard there as well. What an awesome view. And surrounded by bluebells on this trail. Just awesome. Pretty technical last few miles. Plenty of up and down, lots of roots, lots of rocks to navigate your way through. But all good practice. A couple of the climbs are so steep, started walking those, keeping my heart rate in zone 2. So that's all good practice for the ultra. Right, I love it, absolutely love it. Look at those oak trees. Amazing. Right, I'm gonna crack on. Doesn't get much more beautiful than this. Perfect trail running. So really close to Peppercombe now, which is the end of our coastal adventure. We're going to head inland now, up this path for about 1.5 miles or so, and then it'll be back onto tarmac. But loved that trail, very technical, lots of up and down, which is beautiful. And then didn't quite film it, but the last sort of 1/4 mile just full of wild garlic. Just looks awesome at this time of year. Bluebells, wild garlic, amazing time of the year to be running along trails, that's for sure. Right, averaging about a 9.5 minute mile, which isn't surprising given the up and down over the last 3 miles or so. I'm sure that will dip under 9, I should think, to finish, but we'll see how it goes. Right, better get moving. Right, we're about 14 miles in. An hour 15 left to go. Time to tuck into the salt gel, I think. See what this one's like. Rachel rated it very highly. Back in some beautiful North Devon lanes now, as we come up through Peppercombe, and then there's a place called Horns Cross. Very nice. Very, very sweet. Good flavour. Alright, so we're about 4 miles out from the finish now. Decided to just carry this flask from the pocket that broke. It was getting a bit difficult to sort of pull out and drink from, as it kind of sank a bit lower and lower into the pocket. So just carrying it now. But otherwise, very good run. Legs feel fine. Feet tad sore, but nothing crazy. Still feel like I could go on for another few hours. It's crazy to think, sort of approaching 20 miles, and we'll have twice that to go at this point during Race to the Stone. So it's humbling, I would say, but loving the training, loving these long runs. Beautiful country lanes, some of the best that North Devon has to offer. Training at this time of the year is just so much easier than during the winter, that's for sure. Alright, I think I'll leave it there for this run. I'll show you a bit more if there's anything else to see. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below how your long run's going. And until the next one, be the best you.